Welcome into another edition of The Meltdown. Today on the show, there remains no shortage of drama on House of the Dragon Season 2. Did Episode 3 live up to the standard that has been set? We will discuss in a non-spoilery way. Another emotional win at the box office as Inside Out 2 remains at the top of the charts in its third week as A Quiet Place Day 1 overperformed. But what's on the horizon for the Kevin Costner Horizon films, considering we witnessed a less than strong showing for the first Western of a promised franchise? And with the 4th of July right around the corner, there are lots more opportunities to catch up on some content that may have been collecting dust in your queue. You'll hear some helpful words of wisdom guiding you towards the right direction in Luntz's list. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown as we're presented by MyBookie and broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
Two big boys in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know that makes sound a meltdown. It's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown. Let's start the show.
A big thank you to all of our loyal Meltdonians here on this 4th of July week, as we are looking very forward to giving you a couple of shows this week. We will be off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. However, something special in the works for you to witness as a proud member of Meltdonia on Wednesday, as we will have a documentary that is going to catch you up on Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. Bring you some of the highs, some of the lows, some of the storylines, some of the things that are intriguing. The producer of that piece of cinema is Mr. John Lunsford. John, you've been working hard on this thing. Can you give us just a little bit of a teaser without giving us all the spoilers of what we can expect come Wednesday?
I showed Kelsey a clip earlier of something that I shot for it that I thought was pretty funny. I think it has some humorous moments of it.
Good.
It's probably going to be about an hour and 10 minutes long.
Nice.
I am not done with it yet, so I'll have to go home tonight. Luckily, we don't have poker tonight, so I can finish it. But, yeah, it has a couple funny moments, but it's just going to kind of be the saga of Triple Threat Trivia through the eyes of its current reigning, defending, undisputed champion of the world.
I did this?
You're the tag team champion.
Oh, okay.
The tag belts are never as important as the heavyweight belt that I currently hold.
That's not the way I feel about this as the commissioner of the league. Rockstar, you won last week. You're one half of the Little Kicks. We talked with Laurel last Friday. She was just on top of the world talking about how excited she was to be champion. How do you feel being a heavyweight champion in the tag team division?
I feel good. I feel that's more official. We went to a bigger studio, had more people. We had a gallery. But if you want to, and somebody I know put their sunglasses on and pouted. So if they didn't think it was a bigger deal, whatever. So
this is very intriguing because Rockstar has a number one contendership that he can utilize at any point to challenge for your crown.
Saturday morning, 5 a.m.
It needs to be, though, on a Wednesday. That's
Wednesday morning, 5 a.m.
It's like the 24/7 belt they had for a little bit. They still have that in WWE?
They don't. They do not.
They didn't.
Not
Didn't last long.
No, they did that with the hardcore belt in the 90s, and that was a lot of fun, maybe early 2000s. John, Netflix, speaking of fights, has debuted the trailer for the first part of the final season of Cobra Kai, premiering on July 18th. The 6th and final season will be split into 3 parts, with each part containing 5 episodes. What do you think of the release strategy? Do you think that that's going to be a success for Netflix? We haven't quite seen this level of release. We saw something similar here with Bridgerton not too long ago.
Stranger Things did it.
Yeah.
A lot of shows have done it. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. I feel like something else has done 3 parts, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. It's not my thing. Not my cup of tea. If you're going to release it, release it. Cobra Kai is a super bingeable show. But
so when you say it's not your cup of tea, you're talking about the release strategy,
not
the show.
No,
I love the show.
I love Cobra Kai, and the trailer looks incredible. But I didn't like when they did it with Stranger Things, because I hope it's not as bad as Stranger Things. The way they did that was, if I remember correctly, it was like 6 or 7 episodes the first part, and then it was like 2 episodes the last part, and the last episode was like 2.5 hours long. They basically did like a movie, but it was just an episode. It was weird how they did it, and I get because of COVID they had to move some things around and all, but I wasn't really a big fan of that. So we'll see what they do with how long each episode is in all of these, but I wish they just release it.
I think you're the only one in the room that really likes Cobra Kai. I've never watched it, but I've heard great things.
Never seen it.
I've had a lot of people that love it. Is this a show that you think, based on what you've seen from the trailer, is going to stick the landing? Because this is set to be the final season of the series.
So the show has been very much in the valley where like the movies took place and everything, or at least where the first movie took place. And it's been very localized, and this final season makes it seem like, hey, you've won here, now we're going to take it to the world instead. It could be really good. It could also fall completely flat on its face because of that. However, they've done a really good job with it. They've done many seasons now through YouTube Red, where it actually started, through Netflix now, and it's been good every single season. So I have no reason to believe.
Delivered?
Jaden Smith, luckily far, far away from this one.
Yeah, it's not a
I am
although that movie is coming out.
I am interested in what the movie is going to be like, because they're combining the worlds in the next Karate Kid movie.
Hilary
It's going to be. I don't know that Hilary Swank's going to be a part of it. I don't know that Jaden's going to be a part of it, but it's Jackie Chan coming in to basically the world that we know now with the Karate Kid. So
they probably said, we just want Jackie.
I mean, look, Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan, that could be a good pairing.
William Zabka?
You're going to have William Zabka part of it, I'm sure, because obviously he's a main character. And the thing with Cobra Kai, what they've done good is they've done a good job of bringing every single person back for the most part that they can. Obviously, Mr. Miyagi's passed away, but they've brought back pretty much every single person from the original movies. And then they've gone to Karate Kid 2, 3, and they've brought those people into it. But
is this the only thing that YouTube did original that sold to Netflix?
They launched this on YouTube Red along with like a Ghost Hunter show with PewDiePie.
I think
I don't know what else they made.
So they're no
a
longer
handful of
making original.
things, but no.
It's amazing. Like,
they switched YouTube Red to YouTube Premium, and then
What was the name of Jackie Chan's character in the Jaden Smith movie?
Mr. Han.
So it was not Mr. Miyagi.
It was not Mr. Miyagi.
Okay.
No.
That answers Steven's question in the chat there. So good to know. I'm not the biggest Karate Kid guy. I've seen the original and that's it. I always preferred Three Ninjas over
Rocky, Tom Tom, and Colt.
I liked Three Ninjas.
I didn't dislike Three Ninjas.
As a kid,
I
didn't
like the guys that
broke in. We're going to get those little dudes.
At one point, I think Hulk Hogan was in the Three Ninjas movies, which also was a big thing for me. So
I'm assuming Keanu Reeves was in it, based on Rocky's.
He wasn't.
Oh, that wasn't
Dude,
Keanu Reeves' voice.
The one guy that always said was, "Dude."
That's Crush from Turtle Talk. That is what that is.
It's also
Give me some Finn. Can you say give me some Finn?
Dude, give me some Finn.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's
like
exactly
Crush.
it. Rockstar, if the next round in the Meltdown doesn't work out for you, you should go to Epcot and you should be the new Turtle Talk with Crush, and you'd kill it.
That seems like he makes a lot of money too, right?
Absolutely. You'd be
because it's not very specific. Do you have to do the same thing every day?
You do.
Okay.
Tyler, you went to go see Daddy-O over the weekend. I called it low-key.
How is he?
I called it the second horniest movie of the year. Sean Penn and who?
Dakota Johnson. Madam Web.
Oh, Madam Web, yeah.
Do you agree it's the second horniest movie of the year?
I mean, it's between that and Challengers.
I don't know. Tyler's seen some Japanese stuff this year. I don't know.
What? the soccer anime I watched yesterday.
Tyler was on such a good momentum course with his discussion points, and then, John, you just absolutely derailed it. So I apologize, Tyler, that the professionalism that we're trying to have in talking about the horniness level of Daddy-O is being interrupted by John Lunsford. But was I correct in my assumption that it was indeed a little bit thirsty?
A little bit. I mean, this movie was out there. So for anyone who doesn't know, the entire movie takes place on a cab ride, and Sean Penn is kind of flirting with Dakota Johnson the whole movie, while Dakota Johnson's talking to her much older boyfriend who is also married to somebody with kids.
Don't give away everything here.
Hang on, I got to set the scene and like why.
You're pulling a John Lunsford. I'm
the master of spoilers, not you.
Yeah.
Anyway, she has a a text conversation with her boyfriend, and it's pretty raunchy on screen.
Who I've learned is married to somebody else.
Okay,
Although I do think that's in the trailer. But.
Only 5 things happen in the movie. Tyler's given 4 of them away, so we're going to hold back on that 5th one. But we both like this movie, Tyler. It doesn't maybe sound like we do, but we both liked it.
Yeah, I mean, as uncomfortable as some parts were, I thought the dialogue in it was really solid, and Sean Penn gave an excellent performance in this movie.
Tyler walked into Daddy-O as a boy and walked out as a man. And that's the way you're supposed to walk into cinema, right?
Sure.
Okay. The way you said sure there, it sounds like a scene from Game of Thrones.
Then he walked into Blue Lock episode Nagi, a man, and came out a boy again.
Exactly. Rockstar.
Yes.
You got a chance to see Game of Thrones Season 2,
Houses of the
Episode
Dragons.
3.
Let's call it House of Dragons.
We just did a... You guys got to quit making fun of Jim, okay? With the
He's
whole...
made 2 appearances, by the way.
Yes, I
But
see
2
his shadow
window appearances.
over here in the corner.
Always watching.
You guys got to quit making fun of Jim. You say his name a couple times and he appears magically like Candyman or something.
Or
Beetlejuice.
You could have said Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice
Spoiler.
works too.
He's Michael Keaton. Okay.
Beetlejuice actually does work really better.
Come on.
Get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Sorry about that. That's Batman 89. But
The juice is loose.
Rockstar,
Hey.
you really liked Game of Thrones Season 2, Episode 3. We just did a spoiler review. It's up on the channel. What did I say? Game of Thrones?
Yeah, you've been
House
doing
of
that
Dragon.
today.
I was so scared of saying House of Dragons.
It's like saying Eric when you're supposed to be talking about Eric.
Gosh. So sorry. You
And
really...
Renice until Renicia and Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
No, I really do like that is one of my complaints is how many effing names we have to deal with.
There
And
are
how
a
much
lot.
similarity, like this
And they
is.
keep introducing more, and it's like, stop.
That's Wayne? No, it's Gwaine, dude. Gwaine.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Also will work for Turtle Talk with
I was
Crush.
about to say Gwaine and Crush in the show together.
Yes. But
But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I still think you take Garth and you take Wayne and you put them in the same
Also-
embodiment. You get Gwaine.
No spoiler alerts in it. I don't know if I can do that. No spoilers, but another thing I've noticed watching Game of Thrones, because you have to watch it whenever it comes on after 8, you say, oh my God, this episode's an hour and 20 minutes long. And then like you press pause. God, we got 20 minutes left in this thing. And then 2 minutes later it's over. It's like, what the hell did they do with the 18 minutes? I mean, like that. There's just no concept of time.
There's a lot of
Fluff.
production stuff that
Yeah.
happens at the end with a look into the episode. And I haven't started the whole behind the scenes how the production is taking
No,
place
I stay away from all
series
that
yet.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
I don't have that much time, but we are enjoying it. The review is up for when you're done here with the Meltdown. If you happen to watch House of the Dragon last night, you can see what we thought about it and all of its spoiler glory here up on the channel. And John, there's a new way to consume content here for the Meltdown for those that are intrigued and maybe are, like me, brethren of Android devices. There's a way to...
It's not on Android yet.
Oh, it's not on Android yet.
wow.
Yeah.
It's only
I'm
on iOS,
sure.
but I did make an app. I got bored and I made an app. So you can consume the show here and catch up on trivia, watch all of our videos. You can even check out the next round while you're on our app as well. So, yeah, if you're on iOS, go look up Meltdown 24/7.
What if you're on Android?
If you're on Android, I'm working on it because it's a lot more complicated. Apple made it super easy to basically click a couple buttons and it was done. Android, not so much.
Tim, I
Yeah.
feel discriminated against. You?
A little bit. We are Android
should.
people, and we get mocked for it.
Well,
Just
contact the app and say it.
Relentlessly.
absolutely. And I feel like Android is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Android, and all these iOS people look
Not
down
just
upon
fine,
us.
better.
I agree, but I'm not here to start that war. Okay, I don't want to create such division that we have to settle this with fisticuffs. It's not my
Dragons.
goal. Rockstar, a docuseries about the 2022 Idaho murders is coming to Amazon Prime Video with a separate scripted series in the works. I've never asked you this question, but do either you or Nancy enjoy watching true crime content?
I do. Her not so much. The one that I just never got into, I felt like you said that was 2022. I would say 2023, 2022 was the Alex Murdaugh thing, where every single platform had what was his most intriguing murder story, and I never got into it. I think I watched one Dateline episode on it, and that was it. Like I never watched any of the Netflix stuff, any of the and the Idaho stuff. That's some bad stuff. That's the college stuff.
A lot of
isn't it?
these stories, it is the college stuff. A lot of these stories, they draw such huge numbers that rival streaming companies just make different versions of the same story because they know people are going to click on it.
And it's just like the podcasts. The majority of the podcasts are these true crime, mystery, murder, death, cold cases podcasts that people love. Like, I never got into S-Town.
I never did either.
I'm trying to think of it, but I do. I used to be a guilty pleasure was Friday nights, whatever Dateline was on. I'd always watch that Dateline. And with Keith Morrison.
Yes.
It was a normal night for his 16th birthday. What was it? What happened to Tracy on that day? Oh my God, I couldn't stand Keith Morrison.
It was in
I
Idaho.
like the Forensic Files guy.
If it was in Idaho, did Spud do it?
Hey,
My gosh,
has anybody heard from Spud?
He was not Spud.
He's still
I don't
under
think.
the bridge.
We're still waiting for the trial here of Brian Koberger, the accused murderer in this.
Burger. You got some fries with that burger?
Oh my!
Potato, get it? All right.
John, this is not hitting the
I like-
right way.
I like the Family Guy version of it when it becomes a Nielsen family. He calls up NBC and he's like, "Hey, Dateline, I don't like waiting 2 hours to figure out who did it." So then it comes on. It's like, tonight on Dateline, a girlfriend murdered. Was it her boyfriend? Yes, it was. I was like, I knew it. And then he turns the show off. That's my kind of true crime.
I just want to say I've known John for a long time. He's not nearly as insensitive as he's coming across today. So I just want to put that out there as a strong character profile for John. John, it's now time for another edition of 10 with Tim. I've got 10 questions. We've got about 10, 15 minutes.
All right,
Let's go ahead and
as
ask some
detailed as you
questions.
can.
Question number 1 is going to go to Rockstar. What children's TV show gets on your nerves the worst?
Currently,
Yes.
Coco Melon.
Oh, that's a solid
Because it's
choice.
it's just the same thing nonstop over and over. Like I can do Paw Patrol because there's a story. Like there's at least there's a story. Mayor Humdinger, he's always up to but there's stuff that my son watches. It's just Coco Melon. It's just oh my God. I can even get into Bubble Guppies. I can. I was like I can understand it. Like it's and because he loves when they sing and dance. But Coco Melon is awful.
Coco Melon is pretty rough, but the view counts surrounding Coco Melon are insane. Tyler, what is a children's television show that gets on your nerves? And it can be from any era.
So I guess from my era, the show that was the most annoying was Yo Gabba Gabba. You guys know that one?
I don't know a lot about Yo Gabba Gabba.
It's the one with the
I don't know why.
it's like dancing monsters, and there's a dude in an orange suit.
Is his name Lance?
Yes,
Lance actually dressed up as him for Halloween one year because Leighton used to watch Yo Gabba Gabba. That's the only thing I know.
I don't know why I thought Tim was actually a massive Yo Gabba Gabba fan.
Me?
I was about to jump in and say that. And you're like, I don't know anything about Yo. I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't say that. I feel like somewhere along the way he talked about
massive.
Chloe
fan.
watched it or something, and you're like, Yo Gabba Gabba is where it's at. Okay, never mind. I'll be
Never.
quiet.
But thank you for listening to the stories of my life, John. What children's television show gets on your nerves the worst?
Whenever I see Coco Melon, it always looks cheap to me compared to other kids shows. I don't watch kids shows.
Characters are dead in
necessarily,
the eyes.
but yeah, they are. It's just really weird looking. But I've never really consumed it necessarily. But from further back, I always hated Dora the Explorer because that was the first show I remember seeing that was like one of those like. I don't know what you call it, but where the characters, what color is that mountain right there?
Yeah, that's every kid
That's
show.
right, it's brown. And it's like,
every
I
kid
hate
show.
those shows.
Yeah.
I think we're at a point right now where we can say that they definitely play into that with Inside Out 2. That
They do.
it pays respect to the audience of disrespecting the audience for so many years.
Yeah.
That's a form of entertainment, but no, I can't.
Pouchy.
I still feel
I want Pouchy and Porky to have a show together.
that would be good. Did you say Porky or Forky?
Forky.
You said Porky.
Pouchy and Forky.
Yep.
By the way, those Coco Melon songs will get stuck in your head, and you'll
Oh,
find
it's
yourself.
just, but they can't find a lyric. They go 1 and 2 and 3 and yeah. They always just throw a yeah. We couldn't think of something.
Question number 2. What was the first moment, John, where you really knew COVID was going to disrupt day-to-day life? What's like that first, like, wow, this is going to be a big deal?
When they canceled March Madness. Because I think we were having poker when they made the call in the NBA. And I thought, well, and it was like, temporary, like a week or something like that with the whole Rudy Gobert thing. And like, he ended up getting COVID and all that. But then at work, because obviously working at a sports radio station, March Madness is giant. And when they canceled that, because we were going to Vegas, we had a trip scheduled to Vegas for the first time to go during the first rounds of March Madness. When they canceled March Madness, obviously our trip to Vegas got canceled and everything got canceled. But that's when I was like, oh, it's for real now, because that is like the premier sporting event of all sporting events, and they just canceled it. So that's when I knew it was for real.
And a lot of people early on thought it was crazy. Like, how can you possibly cancel?
Because a couple weeks in the NBA season, you can make that up. That's fine. But then March Madness is a whole different animal.
Tyler, what was the first moment where you really knew COVID was going to disrupt day-to-day life?
I had gotten back from spring break, and Auburn had sent me an email saying that the next 2 weeks of classes would be canceled, and they didn't know what would happen after that. And I was thinking, all right, cool, I get another 2 weeks off. And then the end of that was approaching, and then they announced, yeah, we're not coming back for an indefinite amount of time. And I was like, oh, what? So this is the apocalypse. What's going on?
Did you finish the semester?
Technically, yes, but it was all online, and so they kind of just gave everybody A's because they couldn't really monitor anything.
That explains Taylor Corn's 4.0 in the trivia.
I mean, if she was at Auburn during COVID, they were just handing out A's for nothing.
So when the tornado came through Tuscaloosa back in 2011, that was my final semester in Alabama, and it hit on April 27th. We still had like a week and a half left, and they just said, we're done. Whatever grade you had when this tornado hit, you're done. We're not coming back. I had a very poor grade in my history class, so I had to come back and take the history class. They didn't just say, well, we'll just give you, we'll give you an A and we'll move on from it. So I was just curious how Auburn, I guess every school handled that potentially differently, but I was just curious how they handled it.
I got in a situation where I had to deliver a final speech in speech class, and it was supposed to be a persuasive speech. And I picked the topic of older people should have to get recertified with their driver's license because I had all these statistics about senior citizens.
That's a good argument. I'd agree with that.
Well, here's the thing. It was a great argument, but once again, I got sick, couldn't be there. I was hospitalized, ended up coming back, and makeup day was just me and the instructor one-on-one.
He was old.
The instructor, elderly and drives motorcycles.
Oof.
And it was going to be a one-on-one persuasive argument. And I started to realize in my head how much of a misfire I had when I was getting there ready to prepare my speech for this man across the room from me, once again with no one else in the room. And I've got to do a good job on this speech in order to pass the class.
I don't think you should be able to drive anymore.
Exactly. That's exactly how I'm doing it. But thankfully, no one else showed up for makeup day. He had his hog out there sitting in the parking lot, and he goes, "That's what she said. I'll make you." He goes, "I'll make you a deal."
We were thinking the same thing, John.
He says, "I'll make you a deal. I'll give you a B+ right now if I don't have to listen to your speech." I go,
yes.
Deal. I took the deal. I took the deal, and he drove off, and I went.
Did he know what your topic was at that point?
No. Because once again, I'm in the hall going through my speech, and I'm remembering.
What if your speech was how to get from a B+ to an A?
I should have made a persuasive argument right there. I thought it was a trap, but no, he said, great. He stamped it, and he walked off, and that was it. So, that's the last time I saw him. My question to you, Rockstar, is what was the first moment where you really knew COVID was going to disrupt day-to-day life?
Shocker. We were in doing trivia, and out of nowhere, they had canceled the SEC basketball tournament, and then the Go Bear thing was already out, and then all of a sudden Tom Hanks was the first. Because I had asked Lance, I go, do you think people would take this more seriously if a Brad Pitt came out saying I have COVID? Then it was like everybody's on their phone going, Tom Hanks just said he had, and I was like, then everybody's like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? And I think it was later when they canceled March Madness. Then we had to put on a trivia like, are we gonna die? Are we all gonna die? Like, is their world gonna end? So that was fun. That night.
It was a very crazy time, for sure. And I feel like I've blocked out a lot of what happened. I don't know. I feel like living through it was very weird.
Could you do it again today if it happened? We're like, hey, you're at home. I know we have the capabilities with Zoom and everything, but just like...
See, that's a good thing.
Isn't that part of the operation
That's part structure? Of the, yeah, when we started this, it's like we have to be ready for that because now we know that can happen, so it could happen again for all we know.
I'm just talking about being cooped up in your house. And like going like, yo, you want to go for a walk again?
I do feel like we learned a lot. I don't want to go through it again, but I feel like we learned a lot from that time.
That's my kind of life, is living it, just staying at the house.
Doesn't it feel like it's a matter of when and not if it happens again?
Correct.
Yes, which is also why we very much tried to future-proof what we're doing here.
Okay.
So the Meltdown will still come to you during COVID-2.
We have an app. For Apple users only. Okay, here we go.
Beat me to it.
Hey, I'll have more time for building the Android one.
It's in the name.
Next question, Tyler. What percentage of the time do you order sweet tea at a restaurant?
Oh, gosh. That's like 98, 99% of the time. It's
Damn.
Oh, wow.
You're a sweet tea fiend.
I'm very rarely not drinking sweet tea if I'm not at work or at home.
What about Long Island iced tea?
Not really. I don't like
He has to
that.
get those fruity drinks.
I imagine that if we were to walk in on Tyler at his home, he would have one of those like caps with the sweet tea going down through the straw
The
into
beer-
his
I
helmet.
actually thought about getting one of those when I was younger, specifically for sweet tea.
For women. Am I good at people
Nice.
knowing people or not?
Yeah.
Keep a gallon of Milos in the fridge at all times.
Like, do you give it a good shake before you pour it, or do you let it
Absolutely.
get super sweet at the bottom and just live that life once you get there?
Oh, no, I shake
Give
it
a
up.
good shake. Okay, at least you're not a madman.
Shake it off.
What percentage of the time?
Hold on before we move on.
What?
James Stallings with a
Ooh, yeah.
$5 super chat.
Wow.
Tim, scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you about Clay joining Dallas? Rocky literally brought this up before the show. We're going to talk about Clay Thompson going to Dallas? No.
I thought nobody wanted to hear this tape. James, thank you for making this moment happen. Okay, so I'm about an 8 right now.
Is he
and I'll
signing
tell
as free
you why.
agent or is it a trade?
He's signing as a free agent. It is not. There may be a sign and trade deal because teams do that, but he was a free agent. They broke up, the Warriors and Klay Thompson, and Dallas wanted him. There was no doubt Dallas wanted him. I thought Klay may end up going to the Lakers, a little bit of an easier sort of trip over,
But he can't play over Bronny.
but that may be the case. But no, he decided to go to Dallas, and he's a great piece as long as he can knock down the three.
Is he the piece they need?
They need a three-point shooter. That is the simplest answer. They need someone who can knock down threes. Because if you double Luka, you got Kyrie that you have to contend with, who can beat anybody one-on-one to the rim. If you double both those guys or you swing over to help, it's going to leave a lot of open Klay Thompson three-pointers. And his reputation in Golden State, while he has remained mostly professional throughout this thing, that breakup has been looming now for a while.
James said it was sign and trade.
That makes sense. Sign and trade deal. It is going to be a great addition for Dallas as long as he can continue to knock down those threes. It's as simple as that. As long as he hasn't lost his stroke, it is a stroke of genius by the Mavericks to bring in somebody like a Klay Thompson.
Well, if you've seen our squadron video, Golden State, if you're looking for somebody to replace Klay Thompson, I am available as a free agent.
That's awesome.
Just throw that
He's
out.
already got more points than Bronny.
It's true. I still stand by. I made more points on a professional court during those games than Bronny will end up. Or I hit more threes on a professional court than Bronny will end up hitting in the NBA.
I'm not willing to
That's
take
a
that deal.
bold prediction.
Yeah, I agree. What percentage of the time, Rockstar, do you order sweet tea at a restaurant?
1,000,000%.
Don't like sweet tea.
No, all I drink is water, and every now and then I have a Powerade Zero. I don't drink anything else but water.
Can you at least showcase the Powerade Zero
Here
and
it
how
is.
happy you are to be drinking it?
I am. This
Get-
is a Powerade Zero Grappa. And thoroughly. This is the only flavor I get in my day. I have one like once every other day. But all I drink is water. It has not changed my health in the least. So I used to drink soft drinks like a madman. Haven't had one since 2015.
Tough thing to break, but you've managed to do it.
And that's why I look so good.
During the time of COVID, did you ever think about, like, man, I'd really go for a soft drink
I
right
had
now?
dreams of it. Like dreams like and getting pissed off like, oh my God, I cheated. And like you wake up going like something so stupid. Someone's like, here's a Coke for you. And I drink it in my dream. And I get so pissed. I used to be bad.
I hate when the dream version of yourself does dastardly things. John, how often do you order sweet tea at the restaurant? I think I already know this answer.
Absolute zero. I
Yeah.
hate sweet tea. I tried it once, said nope, I'm good.
James, we appreciate the super chat for sure. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on that level. It is very appreciated for sure. But yeah, John hates sweet tea. John really hates most Southern foods. Most all Southern
I've
foods.
noticed.
John hates.
If you went through a list of the top 30 Southern foods, I'd like maybe 4 or 5.
Mac and cheese would
Yeah.
be one of those.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 of those. Okay, next question. If you hit a record lottery jackpot, John, and your financial advisor convinced you to build a second mansion outside of the state of Alabama, which would be the first state you'd look to start construction in?
So I wouldn't build anything in California or New York, but I would buy something in California or New York. So
it's not the question.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm talking through it because I've just bought. I haven't built in my dreams. I've planned it all out. If I ever win the lottery.
Oh. Well, then why are you taking so long?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't have build a house as a part of this. I would build a house. I would build a mansion in Franklin, Tennessee.
Very specific.
Franklin's nice.
Franklin's nice. I know people that live in Franklin.
You want to go to some Preds games.
And I'm close to Nashville, too. Because if I really hit the lottery, the Preds are only worth, I think, $750 million. The whole franchise. I mean, for professional sports franchises, that's not a lot. Hockey in general, not worth a lot. But I would probably buy me a little stake in that, depending on how big the lottery was.
What if then the Titans reach out and go, Mr. Lunsford, we'd love to have you in one of our box suites for the Titans games on Sundays. But
He's a 49ers fan now.
I'd say
no, he's not a 49ers fan anymore.
I know.
I'd say, hey, Tennessee, here's my butt. You can kiss it and move on.
Not very good negotiating tactics.
It's like Raniero last night. All right. Here's my question to you, Rocky. What state would you build your mansion in if you're forced to build a second mansion somewhere? Where would it be?
I'd know the state. I don't know the city. I'd go to North Carolina. I don't know why.
You don't know why?
No.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, like, why'd I have to go to I'm not going to go to California. I'm not going to go. I mean, like, Georgia. I'll do Georgia. I don't really have I guess because of the mountains. I don't care about the beach.
Okay.
See, I thought Vermont, like, that's good, like skiing. I've been to Vermont skiing
Yeah,
before.
but I want something
like,
to drive. I don't want to fly to my second house. So if it's something like North Carolina,
Depends
it's
how
like
much
a
money you
4 or
have. You can have
5
your own
hour
jet.
drive.
What about the Vegas area?
No.
Like,
that's Vegas is kind of the thing. Like, it's fun to go. I've been 3 times. I'm good.
I love Vegas.
And
I want a really nice condo somewhere well located in Vegas. I would not want to drive out. Yes, you can come. I wouldn't want to drive far away. Like, I've always been curious, and you may know the answer to this. Watching Daniel Negreanu's vlogs during the World Series of Poker, which, by the way, he just won a bracelet. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did see that.
Me too.
But he goes from his house back and forth, and like he has a closet that he rents out, which is still cracks me up. But he has a closet he rents out basically at the casino, so he has a place to stay without having to rent a room. But I'm curious, like, how far does somebody like that live away? Like, he has a really nice house, but how far does he have to live away from the strip to ultimately have a nice house? I would not want to have to drive a long way to come in. But if I had a condo somewhere, like, I think Aria has some condos somewhere like that. Like, I think that would be a really cool place. If I had the money to just buy this crazy penthouse, loft or something, I don't know.
Sounds good to me. Tyler, where are you building your second mansion?
I would either go Tennessee up in the Smokies or Colorado in the Rockies, but definitely in the mountains.
I don't know if you've heard this. They have like a show car museum there in the
Yeah.
In a world where Dolly
the
lives.
Gatlinburg area, and I think you would really enjoy going and seeing it. Tyler looked at me like, I'm going to murder you one day, and I'm going to enjoy watching the last breath leave your body.
I know I picked Tennessee as my location, but I would not want to build my mansion there. I would definitely go to the Rockies.
Next question. Do you feel, Tyler, like you'd get along with Chef Gordon Ramsay in person?
What a weird question. I don't. Yeah, sure.
You think you would? You and Gordon Ramsay would hit
Yeah,
it off and be buddies?
I've worked in a kitchen before, and I can take good direction. So if he wants to cook with me,
If he wants to cook.
If he wants to cook with you.
yeah,
Instead of you cook with him.
I don't know.
I can't wait till he's like, pass me the hot sauce, and you're like, no, chef. I would love to see that. Rockstar, would you get along with Chef Gordon Ramsay in person, you think?
I think so, because I will admit that I know nothing about cooking. And I'm not going to say, like, well, everybody tells me that I make a damn good risotto, because nobody on your show can make a good risotto.
Yeah.
I think because he's a big soccer guy, I think I would like to make fun of people with him.
Oh,
if we could just get on that same thought process. But there's no way, like, where I'm thinking, like, well, you're going to put Parmesan in that, chef? Like, I'm not one of those guys but I probably wouldn't like the food he cooks for me. Like, I'm such a... Can
you be honest about it?
Chef, I don't like fish. I don't like steak.
Pick a grilled cheese.
Oh, you donkey!
He's not Shrek.
Yeah, but he's...
That's Sir Kristen.
Yeah, so I think I'd be all right with him because I wouldn't have anything to criticize with. Although I probably wouldn't eat his food. I was like, he's gonna cook.
What if you got him to cook chicken fingers and fries.
Because he would chef it up. He wouldn't do. He would.
You're probably right.
Oh my
I gotta
god!
show off my skills.
Yeah, this is built-in flounder skin. Is the? Yeah, I was like, oh,
Okay. John Lunsford. Would you and Chef Gordon Ramsay get along, you think?
I think Gordon and I would get along
You are a
very
fan.
well. I'm a huge fan of Gordon. I watch every show that he does.
Been to his restaurants?
I've been to his restaurants, been to Hell's Kitchen in Las Vegas, and had incredible lobster risotto, which is one of their signature dishes there.
shut it down.
I think,
It was much better.
yeah, even though he's more of a soccer guy, like he had a chance to be a professional soccer player, got hurt, and ended up not being able to do that, became a chef instead. I think we could
Got hurt on a bike.
bond. He did. And
got hurt on a
he
bike
got
recently,
destroyed on a
yeah.
bike. Have you seen the bruise on,
Yes.
on the side of
bad.
it?
Looks like his skin's just.
He looks perfectly fine, and then he
Charred.
lifts up his shirt,
Yeah.
and it's just purple. Everything's purple.
But I think we could bond over sports in general, over cooking in general. I'm not going to act like I'm a great chef, but like I feel like I know my way around the kitchen decently. But I would love to go to Vegas and people watch with him and say, you just talk nonstop about all these crazy people that walk past. And I feel like it'd be super, super entertaining to be with him. I think actually I'd probably get along with Guy Fieri a little more,
Oh, Flavor Town, bro.
but in a different way.
good.
But of those two, I feel like those are the two guys on TV when it comes to.
Sounded like Beetlejuice.
cooking he
Guy
did.
feels like more of a man of the people.
He does, and I feel like we'd probably have more fun out and about, but I would like to meet Gordon more.
How would it feel to be a celebrity chef knowing you can't walk into any restaurant without the people being absolutely terrified to serve you food? You know, like you can't
gotta be
go
tough.
anywhere to eat.
Oh, they're gonna try their best. Hopefully you won't get salmonella. Like they're gonna cook everything as best they can.
I think I know half of this answer for Rockstar. If you became a high school assistant coach, what sport would you want to coach and what subject would you want to teach?
Soccer.
That's the half I knew.
Soccer or basketball. I know nothing about baseball or football.
You were surprisingly good on the basketball court.
Yeah, I used to be good. Subject out history, like just Civil War history. How about that? They don't have that as a specific. So we take like what one grading period is on the Civil War. It's just
Okay.
history.
Okay. Tyler, what sport are you coaching? What class are you teaching?
You're gonna be mad, but it's gonna be soccer and history.
I'm not mad. No, I'm glad
I got my resume in before you
I
did.
assume soccer would be the sport there too.
after seeing your dexterity on display during Tabletop Tuesday, I'm glad it wasn't like, shop class or something.
Oh no, that's terrifying.
Away goes the finger.
Tyler,
Although I did get certified to use chainsaws and tables, like a multitude of different kinds of saws when I worked landscaping.
Who gave that certification?
exactly.
A guy with no fingers.
Was it the guy that's like, he's like, you're the only one that showed up. You get it. You get certified.
Do you have a heartbeat? You are good to
Oh
go.
gosh, Tyler. I mean, we saw you hanging that poster earlier today, which, by the way,
I don't think it got hung, did it?
no, it did.
It did.
Quiet
It
Place
did.
does
I
not.
just had
I had to change it up. There might be like a stud or something above that if poster because I could not get a single thumbtack through on that side.
We got some new art back there.
I just put it back there under Spider-Verse.
We'll talk about that movie here in just a few moments. John, you are now an assistant coach. What sport are you coaching and what class are you teaching?
Clearly, I am the offensive line coach for said school, and then I would either be the show choir teacher or I would be the I don't know. It wouldn't be like English, but I would basically have a class that would be the school paper because we had nothing like that when I was in high school, and so I would want to teach journalism, something like that.
You'd
We
be
didn't have a
You didn't have a
keyboarding teacher.
newspaper?
we didn't have a school paper. We
Wow.
didn't have anything. When I went into college, journalism was a whole new realm for me, which I ended up studying, and that fell apart. But
The entire industry did.
the entire intro did because I studied. I'm gonna be a newspaper
You're
writer,
not going to believe what my next question is, by
and
the
the
way.
newspaper died literally the day I graduated. So no, but I'd probably, just because choir is easier, I'd probably be the choir teacher.
John, who is someone in the national media field that inspired you at some point? Try to take yourself back to when you still had hopes, dreams, and aspirations and a soul, and tell me what that answer is.
I'm gonna say Rick Riley. Used to do the back page for Sports Illustrated. I always loved reading that part. Whenever I got a Sports, I used to subscribe to Sports Illustrated when that was a thing. And go to the back page first, read his column basically on the back. And that's kind of what got me into sports writing. I mean, there's a lot of people I liked. I mean, I still followed like Kevin Skarbinski growing up and ended up working with Kevin Skarbinski. People like...
You don't have to name drop if you don't want to. You don't have to.
There's a lot of people I can name drop.
Yeah.
Obviously, working in this industry, we're around a lot of those people. Ended up working with a lot of those people. But I'd probably say Rick O'Reilly when it comes to being a writer, sports writer.
Rockstar, who is someone in the national media field that inspired you at some point?
Does Jon Stewart count?
I thought you were going to go with Howard Stern, to be honest.
Howard, I'm kind of soured on Howard. Here's the thing with Howard, and I've always said this. I am not the guy that likes the porn star stuff, that likes the just outrageous stuff. Howard was good at interviewing when he let a guest talk. But Artie and Jackie, the cast of characters around him, Fred, those are the ones that made the show for me. Howard was... him and Robin are part of it, but then you move on to somebody like Opie and Anthony, and you hear Anthony, who is incredible. The speed of his wit, how he gets a joke out that quick without even thinking. Loved him, but then when you said media, I didn't really think that, so I was going to say Jon Stewart, but Jon Stewart or probably Anthony Cumia.
Jon Stewart's still going at it right now. He
one day a week.
He did.
Reacted to the debate
I used
last
to watch
week.
every single episode of the Daily Show when I was working at Jocks. I would TiVo it every night, and then I tried so hard with Trevor Noah. I gave him about 6 months, and I just could not do it. And then when I saw Jon Stewart was coming back, I was like,
Y'all agree
I watch it one day a week.
Something that used to feel so fresh now feels so stale.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys agree with that? Is it because it's
With-
just been the
with what?
format has been done to death? The Daily Show.
Oh, yeah, the Daily Show, I feel like it's done. I feel like everybody from the Daily Show, like, originally kind of moved on to their thing. Like, I think the Colbert Report is better than what he's doing now, what Colbert's doing now, but he has moved on to taking Letterman's place.
Like last week tonight
John
is the
Oliver
big
has
winner
gone
right
on
now.
and crushed it. I would rather see Jon Stewart do a John Oliver style show.
Correct.
Now, you can't just copy that necessarily, but
Well, he did that thing with Apple that just bombed on whatever. It's like
Yeah,
the
but
problem
like-
with Jon Stewart.
do something like that through like Max or something, which I know that's just copying John Oliver, but like Jon Stewart doing that format, I think would be really, really good.
Tyler, who is someone in the national media that inspired you at some point?
I don't think I have anybody in the national media. I spent this whole time
International media.
thinking, and I couldn't think of
Why
anybody.
I went to you last, but I thought there had to have been somebody that had entertained you along the way, or someone in the
Jim
national
Dunaway.
landscape.
Jim Dunaway, say that.
Germany,
Oh yeah, Jim Dunaway for
Germany.
Gotcha. Are those national Emmys he won, or are those
they're local.
their local Emmys?
Yeah.
I'll accept the answer.
By the
You know
way-
what?
I never watched many late night or talk shows. I don't really like that format at all.
Did you
Everyone's
ever,
going.
did you ever like have a magazine you always went to?
No,
Ranger Rick.
magazines were kind of dead.
Was there ever a movie reviewer that you were like, yeah, that guy knows
Perez Hilton?
exactly? No?
Uh-uh.
You've never had any sort of national media, no sports host, you're not big on, no soccer guys, soccer podcast that maybe you listen to and you're like, these guys get it?
Nope.
I feel like we can crack this code, John. There's somebody.
Alexi Lawless.
I do like Alexi
you
Lawless.
go.
I wouldn't
There
say
you go.
he's inspired me, but I like Alexi Lawless.
We'll take it as a small win there. Oh, weather personality? Is there any sort of national weather personality that you're like, Jim Cantor, you love that guy?
Why would I?
Okay, never mind,
Nice
Tyler.
call.
Why would I watch the weather? I've got it on my
Never
phone.
mind. I'm trying.
That's true.
I'm trying so hard.
What James Spann hates you.
You're so old, Tim.
Next question. I just had a birthday.
Favorite
Asking
phonograph.
about magazines and
I didn't ask you about
Weathermen.
magazines. That was old timer John over here asking about magazines.
I'm sorry.
Both of you.
Mine was from a magazine.
Gosh, I feel like there's some answer deep in the bowels of your brain that you have not produced, and I'm trying to get that out.
Do you like what is it? Men in Blazers. It's the only
What?
soccer. It's the only soccer show I can think. Okay, never mind.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't
do
know.
they-
You know what I'm talking
No,
about?
but what do they wear?
How do I know that? You
How
know
are
it
we
all.
not through 10 questions? Next question. Tyler, describe the perfect pool setup. What is necessary for it to be a perfect pool setup for you?
I like the pool to be a lot colder than normal.
Really?
Oh,
you like
yeah.
a really
Yeah.
chilly pool.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's with this Alabama heat, you got to have a really cold pool.
I like a warm pool.
Oh no.
Piss pool.
You beat me to it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I
just
like
free
the-
yourself and you'll have a warm pool.
I like sitting there with a glass of sweet tea, and that's about
There's
it.
some pralines and cream ice cream and a rocking chair.
Okay. Rockstar, describe the perfect pool setup. What's necessary for it to be something that you really enjoy?
Above ground. No. I'd want it to be not cold, but like not hot. It's something that Goldilocks would like. And I'm not I don't like, because Atlantis, they play that stupid game where it's just nonstop jumping, somebody jumping in and hitting a ball, and it's like there's no like. I'm a wader. I don't care about all this. Like, just let me wade.
Yeah.
I don't need all the activities and a good food setup, and I don't really care about the music or a entertainment system or something like that. But
Nobody said anything about slides yet. You guys aren't into.
I don't
pool
think in
slides?
my life.
I just like to chill.
I don't think in my life I've ever been to somebody's pool that had a slide.
Oh.
And the slide just seems like woo, and it's hot.
I think in the movie.
Maybe a bounce. I had a friend in high school, a bounce, like almost broken, a bouncy diving board. Not these stiff things or these jump rocks that people have. This thing was the bounciest diving board I've ever been on in my life, something like that. And the pool has to be deep enough to dive. So 30 feet deep, something.
You're about to say blank check?
John, give me your perfect pool, and I was going to mention the movie Blank Check, where he had a really cool slide.
Governor Ivy's got a cool pool.
He had a-
I was just about to say my perfect pool is the state of Alabama, the shape of Alabama.
I'm sorry for stepping.
I know.
Stepping
Nobody
on your
had said
toe.
it so far.
Stepping on your toes.
Is that Governor K. Ivy?
I was Governor K. Ivy. I'm a dog.
Me and my dog Bear are out of the pool.
Today's going to be a pantsuit day.
I was literally going to say
Sorry.
my perfect pool is the shape of Alabama.
The sad part is that could be the past 5 governors of the state of Alabama that you're impersonating. That could be.
My perfect time at the pool in the Alabama-shaped pool is not a soul out there. I don't want anybody out at the pool with me. I want the pool to myself.
Okay.
Guys, did you see? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody. It's my private time.
Are we sure?
Marco,
I'm underwater half the time anyway, and I ain't talking to you when I'm underwater.
We sure have not asked 10 questions yet. Okay, here we go. Next. John, do you think smartphones have... No, I'm going to start with Tyler. Tyler,
Okay.
do you think smartphones have led to more marriages or divorces?
Divorces.
Rockstar?
Divorces. Although mine led to a marriage.
Oh, you got a good point there.
Yeah.
I know a lot of happily married people that would not have connected if
100%.
there had not been a smartphone.
Uh,
A lot.
I'm going to say this, give the same answer I gave with social media. There's way more good than bad. You just know more about the bad. And I would say the same thing about this. It has led to more marriages than divorces. You just hear about it on trash when the divorces happen. But
See,
how
all
many
y'all
people
do
do
is-
swipe right on Tinder or Bumble or whatever, and it leads to a marriage.
All y'all do is see negative stuff about Ashley Madison. It has done wonders for me. So you're just
you never
focusing
know
on the
it.
negative stuff.
No, because smartphones help you communicate with people way better, and I never would have started communicating with Laurel. I'm pretty sure Rocky's.
But it
the same
also
way.
gives you access to an ex who lives in Georgia
No, it
now.
does. I mean,
and
you
she
get
can-
both. Don't get me wrong.
So
but
you can start texting her and like it's innocent.
Oh.
We're just talking about our kids.
You got plenty of fish on there that you can
Yeah.
just swipe right through.
Yeah. So
it's a good reference.
Anyway, it's clearly led to more divorces for sure. I know of a lot of happily married people due to smartphones, but the thing that you got to take into account, John, is that when smartphones were introduced, there were already a lot more marriages at that point than there were new marriages that were developed from the smartphone coming out.
If it weren't for a smartphone,
And that led to a lot of divorces.
If it weren't for a smartphone, I would not be married though.
me neither.
Although, you could say second marriages also benefit your argument.
True.
Because it technically cancels
those
it out.
cancel out, so then the first marriages end up taking over.
All right, last question. John, if the demonic clown from It had successfully been able to lure you into the storm drain, what
Cold.
item would Pennywise have had in his possession to tempt you with?
It's harder as an adult. You can't just be like, "You want a balloon?"
Pokemon cards. All right. Tyler,
That is the
Pokemon
answer.
cards.
that is the answer. How many Pokemon cards
These
do you
are
have?
already graded.
10,000? Didn't you say 10,000?
I mean, it would be money for me. So I guess if you gave me the highest graded Charizard that I could sell for a lot of money, then sure.
How many Pokemon cards do you have in your
A
possession?
lot. I probably have.
Over 7.
He's avoiding the question, Tim.
I'd probably say in total 15,000.
Okay, that's
So-
worse than I had
fair
put it
enough.
in.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that's how Pennywise would get you.
So you've just got a stack of binders.
You should see my office. Tim sees it. There's a lot in there.
I hope there's never a basement fire. That's all I'm going to say.
My problem is I haven't taken a lot of them out of the boxes, so they're still all in the boxes stacked up.
Jeez Louise. You treat it as an investment as well, though.
I do.
Tyler,
A poor investment.
You have a hoarding problem for sure. Tyler, what would Pennywise be able to lure you into the drain with? A win in FIFA against John?
Wow. You said it, not me.
Too soon? Tyler's looked at me multiple times like, I'm going to murder you. It's all fair game.
That's the last
I guess money. I can't really think of anything. Money or...
We got a whole Supreme store down here.
Okay.
Mine would be great for me.
Yeah.
Naps. I got an awesome nap nook in here. Like,
to be fair, you're not acting Pennywise. You get a permanent nap. So.
Down there. Oh, we're all napping down here. Okay.
It's wetter than Harrenhal.
Now say it as Coach O.
Oh, we got napping on there. Naps up all over the place. People napping. Catch a disease. Ha! Throwback.
That's throwback. Steven said NCAA football 25 would get him down there.
You got a few more weeks.
You only got 2 weeks.
Just
Come on.
Calm down there, okay? No reason to give yourself over to the clown for
Literally
sure.
2 weeks and 10 minutes, it will be out.
Would you have said something if I had said a root beer float? Sorry, I don't know why.
Then say we all float down here.
Yeah, it's just something random.
I would go down there if they had Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian at Alabama Dental Associates.
It's a bad place to practice down there, but
Hey, your dentists are down here.
Have you
That's
seen
what I would do.
Pennywise's teeth?
yeah,
I mean,
rough.
there's a lot
He's
of
got
them.
rows of them.
But you don't have to visit Pennywise there in the sewer drain. All you have to do is head over to Grants Mill Road. That is where you will find Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian at Alabama Dental Associates. They have very flexible office hours, so that way you can visit the professional dental team that they put together on a more convenient schedule. If you need to find the best dentist in town, then I have found the solution, and I'm so happy to share it with you. They not only have all the latest advancements in dental healthcare technology, but they also have the friendliest staff in all the land. So if you're ready to find that perfect dental team, reach out to Alabama Dental Associates for yourself, as they are accepting new patients right now and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com, as they look forward to seeing you. All right, let's talk about the domestic box office this weekend. Inside Out 2 was number one with $57.4 million, correctly predicted by John Lunsford that Inside Out 2 would reign supreme in the weekend box office, as it is in its third weekend in theaters, crossing $1 billion globally. In just 3 weeks of release, it has earned nearly $470 million in North America, $545.5 million internationally, bringing its global total to $1.01 billion. The sequel is the only 2024 release so far to cross the $1 billion mark, and it did it in just 19 days, a record for an animated film. John, I do not believe this will be the last Disney movie to cross the $1 billion mark, as I believe Deadpool and Wolverine will do the same. Do you have more confidence that it will pass $1 billion later this month?
I have a little more confidence that it will do it. It's a second Disney movie, but they have literally nothing to do with each other necessarily. I think it gives more to Despicable Me also crossing that $1 billion mark. I would set it at probably 3 movies now, because nothing else is going to come close to it, I don't think, except maybe Joker, but it's not going to get $1 billion, I don't think. But if I set the over-under at $2.5 billion movies this year, do you think it goes over?
I am going to take the over, because I think Despicable Me and Deadpool and Wolverine both get there, and Inside Out's already there. So 2.5 total for the year?
Yeah. I mean, basically, does Despicable Me get more because of this, you think?
Yeah, worldwide, those numbers are going to be huge for Despicable Me.
Yeah.
So international markets support that. Michael O'Leary, president and CEO of the National Association of Theater Owners, said in a statement, quote, "The film's stunning global success once again illustrates that audiences the world over will respond to compelling, entertaining movies and that they want to enjoy them on the big screen." So, are movies back, John?
No.
Okay. A Quiet Place Day 1, though, overperformed with $53 million this weekend. It earned that in North American theaters. The $67 million production has already made $98.5 million worldwide. It opened higher than A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2. A lot of people like to foolishly talk about that means this movie must be better, and it's just simply not the case. What it is A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2 were such strong films that the selling point for Quiet Place Day 1 is made so much easier based on the fact that the franchise has already gotten so much good faith with people. Tyler, over the weekend, did you watch any of the other Quiet Place movies?
I did not. No, I was busy seeing everything else the theater had to offer.
you loved A Quiet Place day one, for sure. Out of all of us, you were the most enthused about it. Do you find it to be fair to say that this movie did not, on its own laurels, end up generating this money, but based on the goodwill that the franchise has given, it is the thing that pushed it higher than expected with $53 million in its opening weekend?
Yeah, that makes sense. You guys love the first two movies, and John Krasinski's a big name, and then you've also got names like Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn in this one, so it makes sense why it did well.
I also think the first one came out, it ended up getting good word of mouth, ended up having a legacy, but it's the first one and maybe a hard sell. I don't know, so don't really remember. But and then A Quiet Place Part 2 was a COVID movie. They got pushed to like where it came out like early in 2021.
May
to where
2021.
I think that ultimately, because I remember we rented a theater, I think, to see it. So I think it was like kind of a harder to get people there to where this is the first one I feel like that's really been able to capitalize on the momentum now.
A Quiet Place opened at $50.2 million in April 2018. A Quiet Place Part 2 opened at $47.5 million in May of 2021. Once again, coming out of the pandemic and in a very weird time for cinema.
I do think A Quiet Place 3, which I think they are working on, so the sequel to the John Krasinski aspect of it, I think that will crush this even more.
We shall see. If it doesn't, then you have to wonder if people have maybe lost some of that goodwill that they had going into this one.
Or
around 40% of the domestic earnings came from premium screens, including IMAX and other large formats. Did you feel like you really benefit from seeing this thing in prime? Because I saw it in a standard 2D theater.
I felt like I definitely did because of the sound design.
Yes, but barely, but yes.
Okay. We've got to get to Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1. I hate when things call themselves Chapter 1 because there is no guarantee that you're ever actually going to get Chapter 2. But Kevin Costner's Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 opened to just $11 million. It is a $100 million production that Costner financed on his own.
Just this one movie?
Just this one movie.
So it's $200 million if you count the one that comes out in a month?
I don't know.
And then however much money's been spent on parts 3 and 4,
which are in like pre-production.
It's a lot of money. He financed it and partnered with Warner Brothers to distribute. It opened in 3,300 locations. It is a decades-old passion project. He mortgaged property in Santa Barbara, California to finance it. And he exited Yellowstone early to see it get made. In a bold strategy, Chapter 2 arrives in theaters later this summer on August 16th. Rockstar, can you put yourself in the shoes of Kevin Costner going, oh my gosh, what have I done?
No, because you haven't too much of an ego. You guys just don't understand it. It's a perfect picture. You guys don't understand it. You really think he's going to say he's the fault, like the guy that made The Postman and Waterworld? Like, I have a vision. You just guys don't see it.
He's got 3 more of these movies coming out.
Yeah, and they're going to come out.
So
it's this my vision.
At least the second one will.
I would have thought with as much as people love Yellowstone that this would have done better, but like did the Yellowstone hype just completely die out and all hype for anything tangentially related to Yellowstone?
Yellowstone is modern, and this is a Western, and Westerns don't sell with people these days. It's as simple a fact as that. We've seen some high-profile actors take on Westerns that generate no money. I remember
Will Smith.
What was it? The Power of the Dog that came out on Netflix, right? Yeah. So if that had been theatrically released, John, it would have made zero money. It would have made no money at all. Nobody would have rushed out to see it. Kevin Costner, I think what this proves more than anything is if Kevin Costner, coming off of Yellowstone, if he can't get a Western across the finish line, I don't think anybody can right now.
So, you have to release a movie a little bit to get Academy Award consideration, and obviously it was nominated for a ton of awards, but Power of the Dog, its total box office was $400,000. Now, I know it probably only did the very minimal screenings that they had to do because Netflix obviously wanted to bring people there, but it only cost $35 million and made that much. Killers of the Flower Moon, which I think is probably the closest comparison to the most recent movie to this, cost $215 million, and it only made $157 million at the box office. Same thing. Terrible. It's a hard sell to get people to go see. By the way, an incredibly long movie, which Horizon is, Killers of the Flower Moon was. It's a hard sell to get people to go see those.
It's over 3 hours. You'd have to basically spend 3.5 hours in the theater to get the entire Chapter 1 experience. This isn't even a full story. And I think a lot of people are probably like, oh, since it's just chapter 1 and I'm not getting a complete story, I'll see if it's good before, and I'll probably just watch it at home. That's probably what some people are thinking.
I'm curious how fast it comes to streaming.
Whew. It's got to come to streaming before chapter 2 comes out if you're going to have anybody fall in love with it.
It's going to be a month, and it's going to be on streaming.
Smuff says people are also mad at him for leaving Yellowstone. Yes, that is something that they're not going to go out and support him leaving the show that they love.
His ex-wife is probably mad at him, too.
And 4 movies.
Superman's mad at him for
2.5 to 3 hours per movie. I don't know if these things are going to get lesser in runtime or if they're going to get more expensive, but this is what Costner had to say. Quote,
whoops.
This is what he said before it came out. Would I love that it would be highly, highly successful? Of course I'd like that. My ego would like that. Everyone would like that. But I am happiest that the movie that you and I are talking about looks the way I want it to look. Think he still feels that way deep down internally? I don't know. It's embarrassing, it is, for Costner, who has those plans to release at least 2 more movies after releasing the second one on August 16th of this year. So, will we be seeing Horizon movies coming out nonstop? Maybe he saw the Avatar strategy and said, those things release like a decade plus apart, 15 years apart, and they make tons of money. If I release all of my saga here within months of each other.
I'll get one big check right, within a year. Nope.
Bad Boys Ride or Die almost made as much as Horizon. It almost edged it out for the 3 spot. It ended up in the 4 spot there. John, I believe you had your top 4 correct. What you missed was the 5th choice on your list.
I had the Bike Rides at 4 million. It made 3.3, so it was close. But yeah, I did not have Kalki 2898 AD.
Oh my God, is that already out?
It is out.
Bad Boys Ride or Die. It's in its 4th week. It's done really, really well. It's been a resurgence for Will Smith. The Bike Riders, though, is a story that no one's talking about. It dropped 66% in week 2 after adding 50 more theaters to its count. John.
That doesn't add up, Tim.
People got word that this thing is a stink bomb, and they said, no thanks. Phew. And we walked out and we're like, this thing sucks. It's made a little over $23.6 million worldwide on a near $40 million budget that does not include advertising for the movie. So will it make back its money?
No.
No,
because you might hit a 4th of July weekend where...
I don't know. You got premium video on demand. You got streaming services that could gobble it up. I mean, it may break even. It may break even.
Maybe.
There's a chance. The Garfield movie at number 7. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes still in the top 10. Rockstar. We saw that movie 8 weeks ago.
Is Dune still pumping?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. Dune is out on streaming on Max right now. Jet and Juliet 3, which I've never heard of.
What?
I think it's another Indian movie.
It's in the 9th spot. Tyler's like, a movie I haven't seen? Yeah. What did you say? And then number 10, Kinds of Kindness, which you're looking very forward to seeing this movie because it's got a lot of polarizing buzz around it. You're going to be seeing it this weekend. John's going to be seeing it this week at some point. How excited are you to go see Kinds of Kindness coming off of what was a really fun production in Poor Things that has a lot of the same creatives behind it?
So, to be honest, I don't know if we've ever talked about Poor Things on here. I actually wasn't crazy about Poor Things. I thought Emma Stone absolutely deserved Best Actress for it. But I wasn't very crazy about the story. But the trailer for Kinds of Kindness, I've never been more intrigued by a trailer. I know literally nothing about this movie other than who's in it and what the trailer has in it. And I'm interested.
The question is that genius or is that by design to not give away any of the story that seems to be dividing people, John? I don't know how much you've looked into it. I ask that you don't spoil anything you know. But it is in the top 10 with 490 theaters currently showing it. It's got a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't great, and a 56% audience score. Do you think you're going to be more likely to walk out of this thing loving it or hating it?
So, who's the best director working right now?
Christopher Nolan.
So he tried to continually outdo himself for a little bit there. Batman aside, he tried to kind of continually outdo himself with the weirdness, the twists, and everything, and ended up with Tenet that ended up being way too much. And he's kind of had to pull it back, and I think that's why he moved on to something like Oppenheimer, which isn't a story he had to create. So
there's no doubt Tenet is looked at as the only misfire of Nolan, but it also came out at a time that was convoluted.
Critically, it's hard to look at Tenet compared to his other stuff because he tried to get way too over the top with, time traveling, going backwards in time, all kind of stuff. But even a movie like Dunkirk, which once again is more of a true story, the way he shot it was kind of interesting with the 3 different angles and stuff like that. It seems like that's what Yorgos is trying to do. How can I outdo myself? The Lobster was a little weird. I never saw The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I need to. It's an A24 movie. It's on my list. But it's horror film, so I kind of avoided it. The Favorite was a little weird. Then Poor Things got a little weirder. And it seems like this is like, hey, let's really turn the weird up. Because another person who's getting incredibly weird right now is Emma Stone. Because obviously she was in The Favorite. She was in Poor Things, won the Oscar. But then she did her production company, who I think produced Kinds of Kindness. The first thing they did was a show called The Curse that I only made it about halfway through because it was so boring and so confusing that I could not do it. It's her, it's Benny Safdie, and Nathan Fielder. Is that the name of that comedian?
Yeah. Does Nathan For You on Comedy Central.
My wife loved it, but it was the most bizarre thing, and it made no sense, and I despised it. And everything, and then her first movie she produced, I think it's her first movie she produced, was I Saw the TV Glow, which is an incredibly, incredibly weird movie, as Tyler can attest. Now, I did like it, but it's an incredibly weird movie. And it seems like with this, it's like we're going to keep the weirdness going to where it's eventually going to hit a point, and I think this may be it, where everybody's going to be like, okay, y'all can stop now. Let's bring it back a little bit. Both Yorgos Lanthimos from the director's side, Emma Stone from the production and acting side. Let's just pull it back a little bit. But it's got a cast in it. Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe. I mean, it's got tons of people in it, but
Jesse Plemons is one of my favorite actors in bad movies because I like Game Night. I do like Game Night.
That's very good.
But Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon. He's the best part of it.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't hear him. I'm sorry.
He said, "How could that be profitable for Frito-Lay?"
Oh yeah. I could just watch his scenes out of the movie and I'd be content.
I mean, Power of the Dog. Go back to that one. Same thing. He's in that. He was good in that. I didn't necessarily care for the movie.
Plus, Kyle Chandler looks like my dentist, Dr. Brian.
He actually kind of does.
He looks just like him.
Boy, I just like the Friday Night Lights TV show already, especially now.
John Lawson Poker, everybody. Okay.
But anyway, Jesse Plemons is good. The cast is good. Yeah. We'll see what it's like.
Civil War.
He was incredible. He was
the best part of it.
But, we'll see.
There is a long holiday weekend for many coming up. Some people taking the entire week off, which provides a perfect opportunity to catch up on some content. It's time for John to now give us his 5 heartfelt recommendations on this edition of Luntz's List.
What is this? What is this? Luntz's List, Luntz's List, oh. What is this? What is this? Luntz's List, Luntz's List, oh. Luntz's List to 5. Luntz's List to 5. Luntz's List to 5. Luntz's List to 5.
All right, John, what are the 5 things worth catching up on over this week? And I've given you some very specific criteria, very specific.
Yes.
One has to be something worthwhile on Netflix. One has to be a bingeable TV series available to be streamed. One has to be something currently worthwhile at the movie theater. One has to be something worthwhile from the past 6 months, a movie that you can rent on demand. And one has to be something with a patriotic flavor that's somewhat easy to access.
Got it.
Those are the rules.
I don't really have to set anything up because that you pretty much.
What are you starting with? Number
5.
Number 5. Let's go. Something that's in theaters right now. It's an easy choice for what is currently in theaters.
Tim, I feel like I already know what the patriotic movie is, but I'm not going to say it this time.
That's kind of you. I think Inside Out 2 is probably what's being written on the big board, which is a no-brainer. Oh, man. Inside Out 2 deals with emotions and brain development.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yep, Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
It's quality. That's why it's having the success it is.
One of the best movies of the year so far, critically, to audiences, financially, obviously the best movie of the year so far.
Young, old, I mean, it hits every single generation.
It does. We've already talked about it nonstop. There's really not much.
Check out our spoiler review, which you can check out in the app as well if you are an iPhone user.
And only
all right,
an
number
iPhone
4.
User.
That's really all you're going to say about Inside Out 2?
Inside Out's, I mean, we've talked about it for 3 weeks? This is the 3rd week it's been out now. I mean, Inside Out 2 is a good movie. Go see it. It's the only thing really worthwhile out there because I'm not going to recommend A Quiet Place Day 1. I'm definitely not going to recommend Horizon. I'll recommend Bad Boys, but it's been out for longer.
Okay, here's what I'll do.
Bike Riders is bad. Garfield, no. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has been out for 8 weeks. If you hadn't seen it,
Bike Riders sucks. Go see Daddy-O instead. It's the better vehicle movie.
It was 15th this week.
My question, John, is if you were to get a Luntz's list of the 5 emotions that you would rank, who would be number 1?
Anger.
Anger would be number 1?
Yeah.
Lewis Black?
You're talking about in terms of like how I enjoy their Anger would be number 1.
I was watching Yo Gabba Gabba instead, so I don't know.
We've already know you're a huge fan. That's all you talk about.
So sorry.
All right, let's move on to number 4 on Luntz's list of 5 things you need to catch up on this weekend. What is this category?
This is going to be Netflix.
Something on Netflix. I feel like it's sort of the universal streaming service that everyone has access to if you're going to get into the streaming waters. At number 4, something on Netflix. Godzilla Minus One. This is a movie we've been talking about for months.
Yes.
And it's a correct answer.
It is now on Netflix, so go watch Godzilla Minus One. It was incredible, one of the best movies last year. Won the visual effects Oscar and spent $10 million on the movie. Gosh, showed you how to do it right.
So good.
Really good. People stories as well. Gives you, I think, a good look at Japan in wartime. And yeah, go watch it.
Now, what do you make of the people who go, I don't want to read my movies, John?
I don't want to read my movies, John.
Was that Governor Kay Ivey?
I don't want to read my movies, John. Eat some popcorn and some kernels and some kettle corn. It sticks to my teeth.
Does not sound like Kay Ivey.
I have little kernels in my fix-it.
Getting better. Anyway, Godzilla Minus One. Kay Ivey's going to watch it this week.
If you don't want to read your movies, then you don't want to see a good movie. That's watch
-1 for me.
Go watch something stupid if you want to watch,
John said to watch something stupid.
No, I mean, if you just want mindless fun, wait till the 4th of July and go watch Godzilla Kong on Max.
Tyler, very rare we agree on something across the board. Godzilla Minus One is one of those movies.
Oh, it's incredible. If you're a big Jaws fan,
Woo!
go see Godzilla Minus One. It is heavily inspired by Jaws.
So it's overrated.
You know what else you should watch?
Ooh,
Hey, I respect the hell out of it.
Our Jaws retro trailer reaction. It's up on the channel right now. Enjoy that one. A lot of you already have been. Someone did leave a comment that Jaws is not a horror movie in the comment section. I disagree. I think Jaws is clearly a horror movie, but
Yeah.
Is Godzilla Minus One a horror movie?
it could be classified as that.
Horror.
Aren't most monster movies like considered horror movies?
Monsters considered a subgenre of horror. So, yes. Okay, let's go ahead and move to number 3.
This is the TV show to binge.
TV show to binge.
MASH.
Some bingeable TV series available to be streamed.
Hello.
You've been beating this drum for a while now. I thought
So I actually just finished it last week.
season 1 sucked of this.
Season 1 was decent for me. Season 2, they got more money. And so they went all out on season 2. Episode 4 of season 2 is like basically an entire planet battle and is incredible. It ends really well. It sets up more of a story that you know from Halo by the end of season 2 to where it's getting into more familiar territory. This is very much a show that is a different timeline from what you're used to. So if you played the games, you will recognize all the characters, but they will all be doing very different things. The ultimate motivation is what a Halo is, what the system of Halos are, and what they ultimately mean to the Covenant, to the humans. But the second season was really, really good and brings more of what you know of Halo in. They changed the theme song instead of being it kind of starts out with the choir and then goes into a completely different theme song in season 1. This one stays more with the original theme song. I think any complaints they heard about season 1, they said, okay, we got a budget now. We're going to make it exactly the way it needs to be to make it Halo. And they knocked it out of the park. So
is it me you're looking for? He did
anyway,
at the start.
I know.
Just was
Both of you. But I think it's on Paramount Plus. I want to say Paramount Plus, the streaming service, is in some kind of negotiation to shift somewhere, kind of like what Max and Discovery did. So I think that's holding off on a season, on really any major production right now. They're kind of holding off. So there's not a season 3 announced, but it very much leads off to a season 3. that I won't spoil, despite being the master of spoilers.
Thank you.
But
You're the Master Chief of spoilers.
but
It's a character's name.
yeah.
Finally got him. It was a genuine one.
But if they do a season 3, it should be absolutely incredible. Also, it's Amblin Entertainment is the one putting the money behind it, so that's Spielberg is putting the money behind it.
John, because you and I didn't want to be getting our Halos anytime soon, we decided to turn to the board-certified team.
Oh, wow.
Leslie and Way to Wellness.
Dark.
No, it's just we decided we were going to take health as a priority, and we decided to go to the team we trust. I don't know what's wrong with that. That's a good, positive thing, and it should be celebrated because, John, we have lost a lot of weight, almost an entire Tyler.
And just like John, a.k.a. Master Chief in the game, is very built and skinny, we are turning into that as well, as we have visited our friends at Way to Wellness. Tim weighing in there, me weighing in, Leslie, our whole board-certified staff have done a great job with us. You see Leslie walking in the background right there. The scales are going down. We're over 80 pounds combined down since we started a few months ago, and we are continuing that as we go through this 4th of July holiday weekend. You see how happy we look getting our blood pressure done because we have just read that scale that is lower and lower every single time. So go to aplanforme.com and you too can get a plan that works for you, like I have, like Tim has, that makes them look happy there, like Jim Dunaway has, like my dad has. It's a whole family affair. Way to Wellness, aplanforme.com.
Charles in the chat says the bear should be the answer. And
I have not finished season 3 yet, so I'm not willing to say that because it has got terrible reviews. So
have you? But you've started it.
I've started. I'm 8 episodes of the 10 in. I like it more than other people do. My wife absolutely hates this season.
Really?
So I'm trying to think. We pulled up the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes the other day. It was rotten. So we'll see what happens with the bear.
It's officially jumped the shark. It's officially a dead TV series now.
No,
They become unbearable.
they made well, it's
not
a
fair to watch
60,
it.
so it's just gone up into the fresh technically at 60 on Rotten Tomatoes for season 3. It's very artsy. This is a very A24 season, and it was not necessarily that way.
Of course you love it.
It was not necessarily that way before. It kind of was. It was A24 in the sense of like Uncut Gems, like the Safdie way of doing that, very up close and personal. You're in the kitchen, and camera's right in your face. People are screaming nonstop at everybody. Then last season was pretty good. This season has tried to get way artsy and how it's done. No, it's getting way into like the backstories of the people, and it's like, you've liked this show for a couple seasons, so we're going to dive all in on everybody else on the show. And it's kind of been different. So I've been fine with it, but if you're used to what the first season was or what the second season was, this is very different. It's not bad. It's
like
just
when
different, so people have not liked
You
it.
show up to your favorite restaurant and they start changing the recipe, and you're like, you can taste it. Just tastes different.
And one of the main plot points of this episode is they change the menu every day, and it's costing too much money, and they have like a review, and they can't remember what dish they made for the review because they won't tell them what's in the review, and it's a whole thing. I like it, but I understand why people don't like it. I still think 100% we'll get a season 4 because I'm sure it was still really well watched, and overall the show's still
All
pretty good.
they care about is click-through rate.
And you're going to get that regardless.
Yeah.
So
let's move on to number 2. What of the remaining 2 categories are you going with next?
a movie that is available on demand from the last 6 months.
Hey, this is available to be purchased. Available premium video on demand, meaning it's not just on a streaming service for you to click play. You're going to have to throw that at least $4 its way, maybe 10, who knows what it is. At number 2 on Lentz's list.
Challengers.
This is our Meltdown movie of the year so far.
Well, we just talked about that. Godzilla -1 we all agreed on so far. I think this is the only one we've all agreed on this year. Challengers, it's a hot movie, so on a hot weekend, go watch a hot movie inside. And
guys, you think my transitions are
y'all
bad?
talked about Daddy-O being the second
Sounds like
horniest movie of the year.
it sounds like you're promoting Daddy-O here.
Yeah. Y'all talked about Daddy-O being the second horniest movie. This is the first of the year, but go watch it. Zendaya a lot better looking than Dakota Johnson. That's all I have to say.
I'll agree with that.
She didn't do it for me.
Dakota Johnson?
In any regard, she doesn't do it for me.
No, this is my first experience with Dakota Johnson, I think, in any movie. I didn't
Never saw like 50
never saw
Shades or
50 Shades of
anything.
Grey.
Did you?
Like that. I did. I saw the first one.
Did you ever see
I
The
saw it with my
Lost?
parents? But
Did you ever see The Lost Daughter? It was nominated for a bunch of Oscars. Had
No.
Olivia Colman. She was in that.
Is there anything else Dakota Johnson's in? I feel like it's the first
So-
time.
Madam Web.
Social Network.
I've
Social
seen
Network.
Social Network, yeah.
Oh,
Justin Timberlake,
yeah.
when you first see him, he's at Stanford, and he's woken up in bed with a girl who's at Stanford. I don't even think she's credited in it. It's a really small role, but it's Dakota Johnson that's the student there.
Yeah, okay. I didn't have any grade for her performance coming out of that thing.
You've seen a movie with Dakota Johnson. Surely you've seen something. She's been in too much stuff.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen her in a movie. I
The Peanut Butter Falcon?
Nope. That's the Shia LaBeouf movie, right?
Yeah, that is the Shia LaBeouf movie. Suspiria.
She was in 21 Jump Street.
Wait, who is she in 21 Jump Street? I just saw that.
She worked at Jump Street with them. It was her and another girl that they went to another school as like cheerleaders, and you would know her. You would know her in 21 Jump Street. I think she's in both of them. I think she's part of that anyway.
Challengers is a really good movie, and
didn't you see Black Mass, the Johnny Depp movie?
I did.
She was in that.
That's the one that I remember her from then. Yes.
I never saw that one.
I saw that multiple times opening weekend because I couldn't wrap my head around how incredible the story was and that it was real. And I did deep dive into research, and I went to go watch the movie again, and it's not a great movie.
Yeah.
But it's a captivating crime story. Mm-hmm. Because the biggest, most notorious gangster maybe ever.
Whitey Bulger, is that who it was?
Whitey Bulger. If you really look at the context of his story here and what he was able to do, he was able to get away with it so long because the feds were in on it as well. It's amazing. It's an amazing story.
Did you ever see the remake of Suspiria?
No.
She was in that too. I'm trying to find something else.
We've seen more Dakota Johnson movies than I thought we would have.
That is correct. So, number one has to be something with a patriotic flavor that's somewhat easy to access, and I cannot wait to see what this is.
Easy choice, right?
I think so.
Can I guess it now, Tim?
Yeah.
Independence Day?
Yeah, what else is there?
Yeah, see, I knew it.
What else is there?
See,
There's
Patriot.
a lot.
I didn't
Glory.
spoil it, Tim. I waited till the end.
Where is
there's
it going
one
to
choice.
be? That's what I want to know. Where's it going to be?
It's on Hulu. You talking about streaming platform?
Streaming platform? It's on Hulu.
Yeah, I watched it a week ago on Hulu.
It is one of those movies.
Will my
where-
David be able to find it?
And Independence Day Resurgence is on there too. If y'all want to watch that.
No. Somebody's going to accidentally click on Independence Day Resurgence thinking it's Independence Day, and they're going to be very disappointed this holiday season.
Can we coexist?
It's such a waste. I'm glad you just went with the IDT version of this.
ID4, but
That's a T. But it should be
It's just
ID4,
lot.
but that's IDT.
Lot.
That's a T. Is that a T or a 4?
Or a Y.
it's
it could be an X. It could be a lot of things.
Or a very flamboyant X.
Oh. See, now that's a 4. That's not a
That's
4.
that's a
Same
4
thing, it's just
right
got
there.
less of a curve to
That's
it.
not a 4. That's IDT.
Oh yeah, Smells right. She was on The Office too at the very end. She replaced Kevin
Oh.
when they fired her. So you probably don't watch it.
So we have seen Dakota Johnson and things. All I know is I didn't see the 50 Shades movies and I didn't see Madam Web, so I figured I'd
Pam
never
and
seen
Jim
it.
are doing it. Much better.
That's where it's at. Independence Day is the best movie about Independence
if there is
Day.
one to choose, there is no other choice. other than
Passion
Independence
Treasure.
Day.
You just watched this a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
I did, and it's on Hulu. That's why I know it's on Hulu, and I made sure to look at it. It's still there.
But it's July 1st, so you're sure it's still there?
It is still there.
Oh, man, I love Independence Day.
I would hope they wouldn't take Independence Day off their platform during Independence Day.
I wish...
It is still on Hulu. Independence Day.
Well, there you go.
You didn't
ID
You only got halfway through?
IDT. No, I've gone back to rewatch IDT.
Lot.
I love this movie. And since Will Smith is back, I guess it's okay to watch it this Independence Day. We don't have to cancel that movie, right?
Did you see Will Smith rapping at the BET Awards
I
last
heard
night?
about it. I didn't
was that
see
last
it.
night?
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's not great.
The Hawk Tua girl was on the Zach
With, Zach
Bryan
Bryan,
stage.
yeah.
So, I mean, it
A
was
lot
a
of
big
things happened
weekend for
last
music. Yeah.
I only know that because Zach Bryan's girlfriend's stalker brought it up on the show today.
Zach Bryan's girlfriend.
Jim Dunaway.
Gosh, it took me a while there, but I got it figured out.
How many days had
So
that?
I assume Zach Bryan is with Brie Chicken Fry.
Correct.
All
I don't
right.
think he was. I assume they still are.
Wow. This is
I don't know.
too juicy for me. This is the third horniest discussion we've had on the show today after talking about challengers and Daddy-O. So this will be right there with it. All right, we are going to do what A Quiet Place does best, and that is we're going to stay silent for the remainder of the afternoon after we tell you about our title sponsor, and that's MyBookie.
Go to mybookie.ag. Promo code next round. You see it right there. Go play in the sports book. Even though it's only Major League Baseball right now, there's a lot of cool stuff to do. Rocky's looking. Trust me, it's on the screen. You just can't see it. Okay. MyBookie.ag. Promo code next round. Get a first deposit bonus on us. Also go play in the casino and the live casino. Real blackjack dealers, real roulette. You can play all kind of real games. Go to MyBookie.ag. Promo code next round. Get a first deposit bonus on us.
Steven is correct. ID4, Independence Day, needs to be given the Christmas Story treatment on July 4th.
Yes.
For a while it had been. And then rights disputes and I couldn't find it 2 years ago on TV anywhere, and it wasn't streaming. It was available for purchase, and I'm like, this sucks.
Well, it's on Hulu, so you can just watch it on loop there.
I think I'm going to. It's more special when you watch it on a channel, though. That's the way I feel. It's more special when you don't have to queue it up yourself. When you're like, oh, I caught the middle of it. I'm going to watch it this half now. And
I'm only halfway through it here, so you can watch it on my account. I'm already halfway through it.
What I like is watching bits and pieces of it throughout the day to where you eventually get the whole movie, but it's all kind of out of order. Okay, guys. You guys
Welcome to Earth. You turn it off
what
an hour later. Welcome to Earth is there again.
What if you go to a DVD bargain bin? I'm sure that you can find a copy of Independence Day there, and then you go to the little scene selection thing and just
hit randomize?
Yeah.
Not an option. But
I call it go to Hulu, and you can just skip to right where you want to.
What's happening?
But he wants an experience. He wants an experience. So I'm suggesting he cracks open a DVD case.
Enjoy the commercials.
I would love to see Independence Day on the big screen. I've never done that. I would love to have it up there on the big screen during a re-release. And I've unfortunately only seen Independence Day Resurgence as a big screen.
I want to say there's a re-release going on this week.
Of Independence Day?
I don't know if it's here, but I did see that there was a re-release, I believe.
Hit me with it. I want to know where. Where can I watch it? Because I have a feeling it'll be nowhere within this state.
Probably so.
You're probably correct.
Also, when it comes
we
to
can't reach out to Kay Ivey and get better movie selections.
I'll try to get to it. I've just got a lot of legislations on the desk.
That's actually getting a lot better.
Thank you.
As we continue to work through it. Okay, that's going to do it.
Getting carpets laid.
I feel like we're talking about Challengers or Daddy-O now.
Carpets.
That is it for the Meltdown. Thank goodness we're going to put this show out of its mercy. We'll be back with you tomorrow, 2 o'clock, for another Tabletop Tuesday. Should be a lot of fun. Make sure you check out our House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 3 review. It's up in all of its spoiler glory. We also have our retro trailer reaction of one of the best July 4th set films of all time in Jaws. It's up there for you to enjoy. Tons of content here available for you on the Meltdown.